Hi, and welcome back to Life Lived and Lessons Learned, episode 4. Today's episode is titled, Get Some Grit. In fact, today's episode is titled, Get Some Damn Grit. So I want to pose a question to you. Would you say, or do you think that Serena Williams is a loser? Do you think Usain Bolt is a loser? Okay, how about Simone Biles? Because they've all lost at some point, right? They've all lost a game or a match or a competition. But would you classify them as losers? No, you wouldn't, because they're not. Simone Biles is literally one of the greatest of all time when it comes to gymnastics. Serena Williams, just as an athlete in general, dominates in her sport. Usain Bolt has broken record after record. And the reason why you don't look at them as losers is because they aren't. They didn't give up. They carried on going. They carried on persevering. And when I speak of grit, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like a lot of us, when it comes to minor setbacks, when it comes to inconveniences, even major setbacks, we allow that to dictate where we go and how we move on. Remember that time when Beyonce fell down the stairs? Fell down the stairs and ate dirt on her way down. Sis rocked her jaw, got back up and carried on performing, hit every single dance step break that needed to be hit. Remember that time? Remember that time when her hair got stuck in the fan and she carried on singing Note perfectly? Note perfectly. Some of you have fallen down some stairs, or you have lost a competition, and instead of carrying on, instead of persevering, instead of allowing that embarrassment of the fall or the embarrassment of the fan wash over you and define you, you have just decided to give up. You're like, well, get some grit, get some damn grit. I think sometimes we get so hung up on the up. You get so hung up on the mistake. You get so hung up on the failure. And I use the inverted commas, failure. Because what is failure? What is failure? One of my favorite sayings is a temporary setback for a permanent comeback. You've just had a minor setback. You've had a minor setback. And because you have decided to give up, you will never reach GOAT status. If Simone Biles had just stopped the time she failed, the time she lost a competition, if she had just thrown a tantrum and said, do you know what? I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. If she had just done that, we would not have the greatest of all time gymnast. I think she's the most decorated gymnast in history. She is dominating in her field because she didn't give up. And I know somebody's going to be like, but not everybody can be a Simone Biles. Okay. What's your point? I'm not asking you to be Simone Biles. I'm asking you to be the best version of you that there can be. And we'll never know whether you've reached the best version of you if you give up. Imagine this. You're on a street, a really long street. You're on this side, and on that side, there is a briefcase of £1 million. There's £1 million in that briefcase. You know there's £1 million over there. You start walking to that briefcase. You start your journey. You're walking, and you stumble. You trip. Your foot buckles. You do that weird foot buckle thing that happens when you wear heels, and you go back. And you get up, and you turn around, and you walk home. And you sit in bed, and you wallow. When you were on the path to £1 million, you knew that the prize was there. You knew it was there. You could see it. The only difference between this analogy and your real life is you can't see what's over there. You know there's something great over there. You know you have a dream and a vision of what your life could look like, but you can't actually see it. Therefore, when you trip and you fall and you stumble, you've allowed yourself to turn back around. You've just said, I'm done. I've thrown in the towel. It's okay. This is the end of the road for me. That's insane. That's madness. That is literally madness. Let me tell you something. If my friend told me that they were walking down the street towards £1 million and they fell and they tripped and they stumbled and they fell and they turned around and went home, I would rock their jaw. I would Mike Tyson them so hard in the goddamn frontal lobe. Because what do you mean? What are you talking about? £1 million? You could have taken us all out of the ghetto and you decided to give up? Oh, okay, cool. I guess we're fighting now. I guess I'm milli-whopping you now. So take that. When it comes to setbacks, when it comes to life, when it comes to things happening, I think sometimes people think like life is just like this easy walk in the park. Do you know how many no's I hear? As in present day, as in right now, as in currently. Do you know how many no's I hear? Do you know how many times people say, yeah, I don't think that's possible. We're going in another direction. Do you know how many contracts have come in? We were literally just talking about this in the room. How many contracts have come in and just haven't come to fruition? And you're like, oh my God, this thing has come in, this big project. I'm going to interview for this job. You've gone for the interview and you've been declined. And all of a sudden, you've reverted to go back into your shell. You've turned back into a turtle. Babe, get a grip. Get some damn grit, okay? You have a time and a moment to mourn that job. Yes, you wanted the job really badly. I get it. I hear you. I feel it. We will give you your time and your space to mourn it. You're allowed to mourn it. But let me tell you this. Get back up. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear the excuses. On a bigger scale, like if we really just take a moment to just think. You have a calling in life. Everybody has a calling. Everybody has a purpose that they are on this planet. Imagine the person who created penicillin or paracetamol or ibuprofen. After the first time they did their first round of ibuprofen, they were like, yeah, this didn't work. I'm going to stop. We wouldn't have ibuprofen on the market. We wouldn't have paracetamol on the market. We wouldn't have some of the greatest inventions that have ever been invented. Some of you are carrying something that selfishly, if you stop, the rest of us will suffer. Maybe you're an app designer. There's an app you're creating. Maybe you are a creative. Maybe you are a comedian. And your comedy show, someone's going to go to your comedy show in 3 years' time and have a light bulb moment. You don't know what the domino effect is. But what I do know is if you don't pull up and get some damn grit and do what you need to do, not just for you, but for society at large, I don't know what we're doing. And when it comes to giving up, it's so easy to want to feel sorry for yourself. Feeling sorry for yourself is actually the easy option out. Hate to break it to you. That's the easy option out because it's so easy to wallow and just be like, oh, this didn't work for me. And I didn't pass my GCSEs. I didn't get into the uni I wanted to get into. And I didn't get the job I wanted. Or my marriage failed, so I'm a failure. Or my engagement fell through. Or da, 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 da. It's easy to wallow. You know what's harder? You know what's harder to do? What's harder to do is to get up and decide, no, I'm not going to let this one setback define me. And guess what? You might decide to get up. You might decide to get back on that treadmill, to carry on walking, and you get another setback. And you know what you got to do after that setback? You stand back up again. You dust yourself off. You keep on walking. I think a lot of us could learn from, I was going to say our immigrant parents, but my parents were immigrants. My parents came here my dad had a degree. My mum was working back in Zimbabwe. They had careers. They came here. And when I say setback, I'm talking a man with a full-blown degree cleaning offices. Why, you ask yourself? Because he had to. They were the cards that were given to him. And he could have wallowed and said, oh, whoa, pity me. Life is really tough. Life is really hard. But he got up. He dusted himself off again. It's not easy. I'm not trying to say this is the easy route. I'm just saying, if you allow every minor and major setback to define you, you're never going to reach the potential that you know you have. You know you have it. And sometimes what it takes is some random black girl on the internet to tell you to get some damn grit and stand the back up, okay? Because I believe in you and I want you to believe in you. I want you to understand that what's within you is stronger than what's coming against you. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying that you can't be heartbroken over not getting that job. That's not me saying you can't be heartbroken over the divorce. That's not me saying that your setbacks aren't painful. I'm not invalidating that pain. I'm just saying don't let that pain define you. Don't let that pain be the legacy you leave. The legacy you leave behind should be the thing that you want to do, the thing that defines you, the purpose that gets you up in the morning, the calling that has been put into your heart, whether it's career-wise or whatever. Let that be the thing. In essence, in conclusion, I want you to get a bit of grit on you. I want you to feel as though you can do whatever you put your mind to, regardless of what comes your way. There are people who have obstacles constantly. And I'm talking every time they try and walk down that street, there is something that gets in their way. But they pick themselves back up, dust themselves off, they drink a bit of water, and they keep going. I'm not saying you have to run towards that £1 million. I'm not saying you have to run towards the goal, but you got to take steps. You got to keep going. You got to keep at it. Get some grit. I love you. Sorry for shouting at you. It's because I believe in you and I love you. Okay, I think we all know that I don't have an ending. So I'm going to pretend to read my book whilst things come up on the screen to say like, follow, share and subscribe. And then you can like the video, send it to someone and go about your day. Okay, I'm going to put this down. Bye.